All right. So, welcome to our Title I training for the technology programs that we use here in the school. Our goal today is to cover a few of the big programs that we use, and then also to show you a few of the apps that are available for parents and guardians to help your children and help the students of ECCS succeed in a cyber environment. Joining me today, we have a few other members of the technology department. Greg Schwartz manages our Power School system, and Renato Morales is one of our senior IT specialists, and we'll be doing the presentation at 12:30. So we're going to go ahead and get started so we can move along and cover the kind of the four big programs that we want to talk about today. The first one that we want to look at is Power School. Power School, the primary purpose that parents will want to use this and students as well is to check attendance and grades. So the next few slides are going to kind of give us a few visualizations of what the systems look like. And then I'll explain as well, once we get to each of the programs, I'll show you as well, if you are interested in adding the application, we can help you with that. So right at the end of this presentation, I'm going to post a link here in the chat. It's going to be in the presentation as well. And it's a form that I'm going to ask you to fill out with your name and email so we can get you set up with whatever programs you would like to set up. So the first one, Power School, you could take a look. This is the screen that students will see kind of on a daily basis. And I know it's a kind of a far away screenshot. So you don't need to see the particulars here, but Power School is our student information system. It houses all the information related to grades and attendance. Students and guardians can check their schedules, grades, and attendance for their classes. Students and guardians can each have their own username and password. So a guardian or a parent that has several children in the school, they can monitor each of the students from the parent account. If you were to sign in on the student account, right, if your child gives you their username and password, you would only be able to see just that student's information. But if you have several children and you would like to have the application on your phone so you can check in on any of your kids throughout the year, I suggest or recommend that you add the Power School Parent app. So in order to do that, let me kind of show you what it's going to look like. It's only a few steps. But like I said, at the end of this, that's where we're going to spend some time in our Q&A. Anyone who's interested in signing up, I'm going to put a link there in the chat for you to click on. Just give us your name, email, and phone number, and we will reach out to you to help you set up this app. But the Power School Parent app is pretty simple. You're just going to find it in the app store that you have, whether that's iPhone or Android. You're going to put in the district code that we have right here. This will connect you to our school. And then you're going to put in your username and password. The first time you sign in, we'll give you a temporary password, and you'll be able to set for the password of your choosing. But once you go in, this is what it's going to look like here. This is a screenshot from my phone. You can see at the top, this is where it shows the student that's here. And you can switch between any of your kids right there. And then you'll be able to see all the classes and the grades. And then at the bottom, you can see the menu items to be able to look at the schedule. And if you click on any of the classes, then you can see their attendance. The nice part about the app as well is if you have notifications turned on, whenever a child is marked absent by the school, you'll get that notification there on the Power School app. You can set it up so instantly you can kind of see, oh, they're marked absent. Let me go check on them because I know that they're in the other room and they're supposed to be working on their the classwork. So you can go in and then see what's going on. The next thing we're going to talk about is talking points. So Power School, that's a very helpful app for grades and attendance. Talking points, this is the best way to communicate with the teachers for your children. You could talk to other school professionals as well, but especially with the teachers, this is definitely the recommended point of communication. So talking points is actually really, I use it in my kids' school as well. I have 3 kids in school, and it's a really easy way for me to talk to their teachers. And same thing with Power School, you can select between which child it is that you want to see, like the list of teachers that are there. The cool thing about talking points too is that you don't have to have the app. So if you don't have the app, you'll receive messages from the teachers in form of a text message, and you can respond to the text message and it'll go back to the teacher. However, if you are going to put an app on your phone, this would be a great one to use. The nice part with Talking Points is this is kind of what the app looks like when you sign in. Once you're signed in and you just click on send a message, you'll see a list of all the teachers that your child has, and you'll see what classes they have. So it might be a little hard to see in your screen share, especially if you're on a phone right now. But you could see like 7th ELA, 6th grade math, 7th grade math, and you could select which teacher you'd like to message and send them a message right from your phone. A really convenient point with Talking Points too is that Talking Points translates the message. So based on your preferred language, when you set up the app, the first step, we'll see that on the next slide. The first step is selecting what language you would like to receive messages in. And whichever language that is, when you send a message in your preferred language, it'll arrive to the recipient in their preferred language. So if I send a message in English, it'll arrive to the recipient in Spanish, and vice versa. You can send a message in Spanish and it'll arrive to the teacher in English. To set up the app, same thing. This one, you don't even need our help to set up. You don't need us to do anything with the username and password as long as your phone number is current, like that the school already has your current phone number. I still recommend, I'll put the link there, like I said at the end, I'll put it in the chat. And you could still say that you want to sign up for Talking Points because we can make sure your phone number is the current one we have in the system. But for Talking Points, the app is right up here, this Family's Talking Points app. You would just download that. The first step you're going to have is selecting your language. So here I have English selected, but you would change your language. You're going to put in your phone number and select the box that you're over the age of 13 years old so that it's okay for you to communicate with the teachers. And then the last thing you're going to do is you're going to get a text message with the code. So as soon as you put in your code, as soon as you sign in, you're going to see if your phone number is the one that's in PowerSchool, you're going to see your children, you're going to see the teachers. If it's not the one in PowerSchool, you might see a kind of the next message is going to ask you for another code. And then that's where you can definitely reach out to the help desk. And I'll put that right at the end of this presentation. And we can make sure your phone number is current in PowerSchool. So I just have 2 more programs to go through. And then I'll share the link there so you can begin to fill out that form. And then I'll open it up for any questions that you may have. The third program we're going to look at is Go Guardian. Go Guardian is a very helpful program for the school, but also for parents. Go Guardian allows you to check the web history for your children. So everything that they do on their Chromebook, Go Guardian is monitoring. So we're filtering out the websites that we don't want students to have access to. And it's also keeping a detailed history of all the websites that they visit. So you can look at any day and you can go minute by minute and you can see what websites they were active on at that time. This is very useful for parents because I know I have kids too, even though my kids are younger in younger elementary years. I know especially as they get older, they might not share the truth with you all the time. And you might think that they're in class because they're on their computer, but they're not actually in class. They're doing other things on the computer. So this web history, you'll be able to see, were they in class or what were they doing on their computer when I saw them? So I'm just going to talk about a few pieces at Go Guardian and how it helps to protect your children, how it helps to keep them safe in the online world. The first one is monitoring, as I mentioned. It will see all internet searches, the videos that they're watching, the websites they're visiting. And for me and my team here in the tech team, we're constantly adding in new sites that are coming up that are inappropriate for school and to make sure that our students are not visiting those sites. The next piece that Go Guardian offers is it sends notifications and email alerts to our social working team, our set team here, and school administrators when students do access something that they should not be accessing. So if they do happen to get to a website that they found a way to get to, it'll send us an email. It's going to alert us. It'll allow us to kind of review that, and then we'll reach out to the parent or guardian depending on the proper protocol for that event. But so this flags things like sometimes it flags it if a student's looking up song lyrics and there's like some curse words or inappropriate words in the lyrics that they're looking up. So sometimes it's simple flags like that. And then sometimes it's more serious stuff. So but this helps us to monitor student activity to keep them safe. So as a parent, my question would always be for my kids, right? What can I do to help keep them safe and help make sure that they're doing schoolwork and what they're supposed to do? So the Go Guardian Parent app, same thing that I just mentioned. Here's kind of some screenshots from that. I have another screenshot on the next slide. But you can look at, if you could see in this one here, it's kind of hard to see from far away, but this is showing minute by minute what website the student is on. It'll also show you here if a teacher had to close any tabs, right? On the teacher side of Go Guardian, they're seeing the screens and they're able to close any of the tabs that come up. Awesome. Yes, thank you for the questions. And like I said, feel free to post them there in the chat. In a few minutes, once I finish this last program, I'll happily answer all those questions, but go ahead and post them in the chat because I know for me, I get questions during presentations and I would want to make sure that I don't forget them. So go ahead and post them there and I can happily answer those for you. To get the Go Guardian Parent app, same thing. I'm going to put the link there at the end for you to fill out. But really, once we have your email address, the one that you're actively using, we can make sure you're connected to any of the children that you are the guardian or parent of. And then you're just going to download the app that's there. You're going to put in your email. It's going to send you an email, and you can either click on the link in the email or you can put in the code that's there. And then you're logged in, right? It's just a few steps and you're right in. And then just like I can see here for this middle school demo student, I can see the websites that they're visiting. You can look at just one day at a time, the last 30 days, and then down here I can look at their activity. And the last program I want to point out for today's session is Schoology. So Schoology is our learning management system. This is where students are actually doing the work. They're completing the work and the assignments. So where PowerSchool will display their attendance. It's going to display their grades. So PowerSchool will display assignment 1, and you can see that they got a 50 on it, and you can see their overall grades. Schoology is where the students are actually doing the work, and then Schoology sends those grades to PowerSchool. So Schoology, though, is where you can see the videos that the kids are watching, the assignments that they're doing, the tests that they're doing. Schoology is one that I wouldn't necessarily recommend that all parents go in. I mean, because again, this would be like a fourth app that you end up adding. I wouldn't recommend of the four, Schoology would be the last one that I would recommend, mostly because it's not really meant for a phone app. It's meant for the website version, which the students are on their Chromebooks every day. So if anything, I would just go and talk to my kids and say, hey, can you show me your Schoology page if you're interested in seeing like where their assignments are? Because in PowerSchool, you could already see like, hey, I saw you had got a 0 on this assignment. You need to go and work on that assignment. But Schoology, you can go in with your child and look at that assignment. If you go in on the parent side of Schoology, you might not be able to see certain assignments that they have because the teacher might limit the kind of permissions to see it just to the kids. So I would not recommend adding it, but I'll kind of show you what it looks like anyway. This is what Schoology is going to look like for students. They're in here all day long, right? This is the program that they're primarily working on. And right now, what we're doing in this Title I training, this is what class looks like. Like if I were the teacher right now, I would be sharing my screen. I'd be showing my students what I posted in Schoology, and then we'd be doing that right here in Google Meet, right? We use Google Meet to meet with them live, and then all the content is posted in Schoology. So in Schoology, they can see the videos and the assignments and the slideshows that are posted in there. There's a video here in the presentation, like I said, that I'll kind of show you. But if you do want to set up the Schoology app, when you fill out that form with the link I put in there, we can help you set this one up as well if you would like to have that fourth app. But I would really focus kind of on those first 3 apps as the ones that I would recommend. So that kind of takes us to the end of our presentation for the presentation that we're going to do in English. So we have about 10 minutes kind of before the second half of this starts with our Spanish presentation. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to answer the questions that I see posted here in the chat. I'm going to open it up as well, if anyone wants to get on the microphone and ask a question. I do ask that if you are going to ask a question, the questions that are about this should be, you don't have to give any particular information and say, hey, this is my child's name. We can take care of that afterwards. So I'm going to post a link right now in the chat, and that's going to be the form for anyone who's interested in adding any of these apps. And a member of my team will reach out to you to make sure that you're set up with all the apps. And that's where you can kind of ask those individual questions. But general questions like, how does this app work? Or what are we doing with, like, what kind of reports can I see? I'll happily answer those questions right now. So let me go ahead and post this link in here if anyone wants to begin to work on that. This link should take you to a Google form. It's going to ask a few questions. What's your name? What are your children's name? If you have more than one, make sure you put the child that's on there so we can make sure you're connected to the different children. And then make your email and phone number. That will let us set everything up for you. So let me go ahead and turn on the ability to turn on your microphone if you do have a question. I ask that you use, there's a raise your hand feature at the bottom. So if you'd like to raise your hand and ask a question, and then let me get to some of these questions in here. Yes, so for PowerSchool application, do I use my own email? So if you click on this Google form right now and provide us with your email, PowerSchool doesn't let us do like a full email for the username. It's going to be like the first part of your email. We'll condense that for you. But if you can put that in the Google form, then we'll contact you and say, hey, okay, here's your username and password, and for you to sign in. Talking points, if you have the app on your phone, then the messages will just come through the app, but you'll get a notification that pops up on your phone like with any other. So like if you have like Instagram or Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or anything like that, when you receive a message, you get that notification that pops up and you can kind of preview the message. Talking points will do that too. So it'll come through and look like you're getting a text, but if you have the app, you won't get it as a text message. But if you don't have the app, it'll come through as a text message. And then, yes, PowerSchool as well will show, you'll be able to click on, I could go back to the kind of the PowerSchool page really quick. In the PowerSchool app here, this is what it will look like for parents. Once you click on the class, so in like math, I see that my child has a B or an 80%. If I click on this class, I'll be able to see what are all the assignments that's contributing to this B. So I'll see assignment 1, they scored a 50. Assignment 2, they got 100. Assignment 3, they have a 0 because they didn't turn it in yet. It'll break down and you can see exactly which assignment it is that is causing the grade to come down. All right, and let me jump to this last slide. Does anyone have any additional questions that you want to post either in the chat or if you want to raise your hand and jump on the microphone? The final information I kind of have here on this question area, we got a few minutes before we start the second half of this at 12:30. But if you want to take the time to fill out that Google form right now, that's kind of probably the best thing to do at this time. And then you can select on there. The first question you'll see at the top is which apps would you like? That'll help to inform my team on which programs to set you up with. And then I have our help email there at the end. So if you forget any of this information after today, we'll have the presentation shared with you. But if you have any questions, you can always message us, send us an email, help@esperantocybercs for charterschool.net. If you call the front desk phone number as well, they'll transfer you down to us. Yeah, I'll be here for the next few minutes if anybody has any questions. So once you submit this form, even within the next hour, actually probably once you're done submitting the form, I'm going to start taking a look at them during the second half of this presentation. But we'll be able to reach out to you. PowerSchool just takes us a few minutes to set up your account. Same thing with GoGuardian. And then Talking Points, if your phone number's in the system. That's a good question. Let me check out on Talking Points about having a link on your computer for the parent side. For the staff side and the teacher side, we access it through links on our computer. let me see from the parent side um, what that would look like to have it on your computer. All right, thank you, Stephanie. If you don't mind, right here in this link, if you can complete. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're especially if you're in a profession where you're on the computer all day, like I am here. It's nice. It's nice seeing that come through. So let me check. Let me check that out. If there's a web access for parents to talking points. Um, uh, Miss Stephanie Rivera, if you could fill out the form that's there, and just with your name, there'll be a spot to put your email and then the name of any children that you are the guardian or parent of. We always double check that in Power School as well, just to make sure that someone is listed as a parent or guardian of Power School. But then we'll set you up with those accounts. All right, cool. Mary Alice, would you like to add anything while we're giving everyone a few minutes to complete that form?
No, I think that was all on our end. If they have any questions, they can reach out and I'll make sure to refer them to you.
Awesome. So, like I said, I'll hang out here for a few more minutes. In about 5 minutes, we're going to start with the presentation. It's the same presentation we just did, but it's going to be in Spanish. But I'll hang out here and start reaching out to parents that complete that form.
Muy bienvenidos a todos que están aquí. Vamos a empezar ya la sesión de español. Teníamos la primera parte de las 2 hasta las 2:30. Empezamos en inglés y ahora vamos a empezar en español. Y aquí tenemos el departamento de tecnología. Reinaldo.
Muy buenas tardes a todo el mundo. Mi nombre es Reinaldo Morales, yo soy parte del Departamento de Tecnología de la escuela y voy a hacer la presentación en español. Y hoy vamos a hablar de varios de los programas que usamos en la escuela y programas que ustedes pueden bajar en su celular, lo pueden tener pues para monitorear su estudiante y pues para ver su grado, su progreso y cómo el estudiante está trabajando en la escuela. Vamos a empezar con la primera. La primera es PowerSchool. PowerSchool, esencialmente PowerSchool es para ver el progreso del estudiante, ver las notas, las calificaciones que el estudiante está recibiendo. Ustedes pueden bajar esa aplicación, pueden ver los grados, las calificaciones, puntuaje y el progreso de su estudiante. Como dice aquí, PowerSchool es uno de los sistemas de información estudiantil. Los estudiantes y guardianes pueden consultar los horarios de clase, las calificaciones y la asistencia. Al lado hay una foto, es pequeña, pero por lo menos tienes una idea de cómo se va a ver en la página cuando entre para los estudiantes y para los padres. Los estudiantes y los guardianes pueden usar su nombre de usuario, la contraseña y entrar a la aplicación. Próxima. Vas a ir para descargar esta aplicación, puedes ir al Apple Store o Google Play, creo que es, para los que tienen Android. Pueden descargar la aplicación, solamente tienen que ingresar el código que aparece aquí en la primera página, en el primer cuadrito. Más o menos es como se va a ver en esta tercera página, es como se va a ver desde su celular. Pueden ver todas las clases, pueden monitorear. Una sugerencia que yo le puedo dar a los padres cuando bajen la aplicación es para que prendan las notificaciones. Así cada vez que haya algo pase con el estudiante o reciba una notificación, llegue directamente al teléfono celular. Si tienes alguna duda, tienen alguna pregunta luego de la presentación, pueden preguntar en el chat. Si tienen dudas cómo bajar la aplicación, al final vamos a enviar un link para que puedas poner tu información, nombre de teléfono, nos podemos contactar contigo y podemos ayudarte a bajar la aplicación y abrir una cuenta. La próxima sería Talking Points. Talking Points esencialmente es para comunicarse con los maestros directamente. Si tienen alguna duda de una de las clases o en algún progreso de alguna de las clases, pueden bajar la aplicación de Talking Points y buscar directamente por el maestro que usted gusta hablar o si tiene alguna pregunta de cualquier cosa referida de su clase y puede preguntar y puede hablar directamente con el maestro. La aplicación de Talking Points es una forma más sencilla de comunicarse con los maestros y esencial para, como diría yo, un cara a cara con el maestro. Tienes una conversación directa, no tienes a nadie en el medio. No es como llamar a la escuela, hey, quiero hablar con este maestro, cuando tengas un chance, por favor, no. Directamente tú le envías el mensaje al maestro y el maestro se va a comunicar contigo. Talking Points, lo mismo, puedes bajar la aplicación, puedes enviar mensajes, puedes cambiar. Si hablas español, en el caso de nosotros, puedes cambiar la aplicación a español y traducir todos los mensajes que tú recibas del maestro, los vas a recibir en español. Es una aplicación muy sencilla y para nosotros de que hablamos un poco más en español, pues la aplicación básicamente pues traduce todo para los padres. Déjame ver aquí. Okay. Cuando descargues la aplicación, Family Talking Points, ese sería el nombre. Cuando la vas a buscar en el Apple Store, sería estar aquí. Vas a seleccionar el idioma preferido, vas a ingresar el número de teléfono. Usualmente el teléfono que está registrado en PowerSchool es el teléfono que va a estar en Talking Point. Si en el futuro tú cambias tu número de teléfono o tienes un segundo número de teléfono que quieres añadir, puedes llamar a la escuela le ingresa ese número de teléfono en PowerSchool para que tenga un contacto o puedas contactarte con el maestro. Vas a ingresar el código de verificación que recibiste por mensaje de texto una vez que tú bajes la aplicación y básicamente la aplicación va a estar trabajando. La próxima aplicación sería GoGuardian. GoGuardian es usualmente para verificar el historial de las páginas de internet del estudiante. Si el estudiante está entrando en algunas páginas de internet que se supone que no tenga que entrar o está fuera de horas de clase buscando o en otras páginas de internet, tú puedes entrar con esa aplicación, puedes monitorear al estudiante y puedes ver qué el estudiante está haciendo. Usualmente, GoGuardian está conectado con... Nosotros recibimos alerta en los trabajadores sociales, nosotros en el departamento de tecnología, si el estudiante está entrando en una página de internet que no se supone que esté entrando, nosotros vamos a recibir una alerta. Lo mismo con los padres, una vez que bajes la aplicación puedes ver lo mismo. So, si vas a ver por aquí, por ejemplo, vas a ver las páginas de internet que está viendo, si vio video, si vio algo que no es indicado, va a ser el programa, vas a recibir o nosotros recibimos una alerta. Usualmente cuando eso pasa, pues tenemos que hacer una investigación, se comunican con los padres, etcétera. Los padres desde la aplicación de ellos pueden pues, monitorear también el progreso del estudiante y las páginas de internet que está accesando. Usualmente cuando nosotros recibimos la alerta, los administradores o como nosotros directamente pues recibimos el mensaje, usualmente se va a ver así. Si fue algo explícito, vamos a recibir el alerta aquí, como que dice explícito, y recibimos en la página de internet el contenido, el nombre del estudiante, básicamente como le digo, como aparece ahí. ¿Cómo puedo ayudar a mantener a mi hijo seguro? La aplicación le mostrará el historial del web minuto a minuto. Pueden verificar al estudiante si estuvo en clase. Pueden verificar los sitios web, como dije anteriormente, para asegurarse que los estudiantes estén en clase. Una sugerencia para los padres, yo creo que esta es una de las mejores aplicaciones. Puedes bajar la aplicación, puedes monitorear al estudiante. Y yo creo que una de las mejores maneras de monitorear al estudiante es constantemente verificar qué está haciendo, dónde está. El estudiante está en clase, no está en clase, está en una página de internet escuchando música o está tratando de entrar a otra página de internet. Pues es bueno para ver el progreso, monitorear a su estudiante y para ayudarlo, al fin y al cabo, al final, para ayudar al estudiante. Cuando bajes la aplicación, vamos a descargar la aplicación. El nombre de la aplicación es GoGuardian Parent. Vamos a introducir el correo electrónico. Vas a hacer clic en el enlace del correo electrónico y vas a ingresar el PIN que recibiste cuando descargaste la aplicación. So, la aplicación usualmente se va a ver así desde el teléfono celular. Otra vez, nuevamente se ve pequeño, pero aquí puedes monitorear dónde los estudiantes pues, ha estado, puedes verlo diariamente, puedes ver los pasados 30 días o la pasada semana, los pasados 14 días. La próxima sería Schoology. Schoology es la aplicación donde los estudiantes trabajan, hacen sus tareas diariamente y trabajan con los maestros diariamente. Schoology es el sistema de aprendizaje que los estudiantes utilizan para las clases. Schoology contiene las tareas de todas las clases. So, una vez que tú bajes la aplicación, vas a ver todas las clases también, vas a ver el progreso, vas a ver los trabajos del estudiante. Los estudiantes usan Schoology todos los días para completar el trabajo de sus clases. Usualmente cuando entres a la página se va a ver así. Vas a ver el progreso de las asignaciones, de las tareas, como este, por ejemplo. Ok, discúlpenme. Los guardianes pueden crear una cuenta en Schoology y descargar la aplicación de Schoology. Los guardianes pueden verificar las tareas, pueden verificar las calificaciones de clase de su hijo y recibir correos electrónicos diarios o semanales con sus calificaciones. La aplicación tenemos un video aquí, pero no voy a darle play ahora, pero si le gusta la presentación en el futuro y le podemos enviar la aplicación y puede ver el video, la presentación, disculpe. Si están interesados en alguna de las aplicaciones, si tienen alguna duda, alguna pregunta, pueden enviar un mensaje en el chat. Si quieren bajar las aplicaciones, pueden enviar el formulario. El formulario está ahora mismo en el chat. Puedes darle clic al enlace. Puedes poner tu nombre, número de teléfono y uno de los miembros del equipo se va a contactar con ustedes para ayudarlos a bajar las aplicaciones. Si tienen alguna otra duda luego de la presentación, también pueden enviar un correo electrónico a help@esperanza-cyber-charter-school.cs.net. Ese sería el correo electrónico del Help Desk para el Departamento de Tecnología. Y eso sería todo de mi parte acá. Si tienen alguna duda, alguna pregunta, yo estoy aquí en línea por los próximos minutos y le puedo ayudar con cualquier duda o pregunta que tenga. Gracias.
Si no hay pregunta, eso sería todo para hoy. Pero si tienen una pregunta o una duda, por favor, ellos están aquí, están disponibles y pueden ayudarle.
Bueno, muchas gracias por tu explicación. Hasta ahora lo tengo todo claro. Trataré de bajar la aplicación para... Si no tengo ninguna duda y lo puedo hacer sola, perfecto. Y si tengo alguna duda, me comunico contigo.
Si tienes alguna duda, si puedes enviar, si quieres, como te digo, puedes llenar el formulario. Si tienes alguna duda, alguna pregunta, nos podemos contactar contigo y te podemos ayudar paso a paso
Está bien, muchas gracias.
a la orden.
Pues gracias a todos. Le vamos a mandar la presentación para que la puedan revisar. Si tienen algunas preguntas, estamos a la orden. Gracias.